Good morning, Paul. It's Tuesday, the 7th of March. Here's the heads up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 18 issues. In North Asia, we covered 4, and for the Australasia and Pacific Islands, we covered 5. South Asia, we covered 15 issues, plus the major issues in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions.
Excellent. Thanks. Go ahead, Uday.
Paul, in Indonesia, thousands of women workers will protest in Jakarta tomorrow at the House of Representatives over various demands, including the domestic Workers' Protection Bill. This coincides with International Women's Day, which falls tomorrow.
Okay, as well as sending out an alert or an advisory today, make sure that we just monitor that in the morning to see how the crowds are actually evolving.
Yes. Paul, also in Indonesia, security forces in Papua have expanded their search for the New Zealand pilot who was captured a month ago by the West Papuan National Liberation Army to Lani Jaya Regency, which is north of Induga, where the pilot was kidnapped.
Yeah, look, this is a tragic but predictable. Unfortunately, it wasn't long ago the security forces were saying they know exactly where they are. And of course, in publicising that, even to an extremely unprofessional bunch of rogues like the TPNPB, they would have worked out that could have only been done by hand phones, given the topography and the vegetation where they are. So they've now ditched those. I mean, things are looking particularly grim. We had a phone call from the family that we'd previously spoken to about the risks of flying into remote sites in Papua, and the employer didn't think it was worth putting some funds up front. And of course, after the kidnapping, we informed them, one, it's too late, and two, the British guys promising they can go and rescue them probably aren't aware of, despite having claims that they have expertise in that area, of one, the topography, two, how riddled it would be with various security forces in Indonesia, namely Kopassus, Special Forces, BRIMOB, police, standard military. So there's no way you're going to go in there and do a rescue mission. The fact that it's what now, 1 month, is it, Uday?
Yes.
Okay, 1 month into it, that doesn't go well. TPNPB will now have worked out that their absurd demand for one New Zealand citizen to get freedom from the richest province in Indonesia in terms of resources is pipe dreamy stuff. So this is tragic, and what is more tragic, that the airline had no measures in place of note. They landed at another airport because of bad weather. Allegedly that's what did in their security, but they don't have any. They don't even actually have any insurance for their aircraft. So obviously the kidnap and ransom preparations will be of equal standards. And of course, it's too late when kidnapped. It's too late to do anything to save the health, even if they're released alive. There are ongoing mental issues, but these issues need to prepare people in advance, need to advise the risk in advance, and need to have security preparations factored in and costed in advance. Okay, thanks.
Right. Thanks a lot, Paul. In Thailand, Paul, authorities seized a tanker ship carrying 710,000 liters of smuggled petrol in Samut Prakan.
Yeah, look, if the location comes out, it would be interesting to see that. But of particular note is the size of that tanker and the size of the smuggling operation. There's no way you can have that amount of stuff smuggled in Thailand without elements of the Brown Brigade, namely the local constabulary, being heavily involved. It's just not possible. So when you see military involvement, you can almost guarantee that there's going to be a crossover into untoward actions amongst the constabulary, which is yet another major issue. I mean, if Thailand and Indonesia could compete at the Olympics, it would be for police involvement in unsavoury, nefarious activities. Back to you.
That's a very funny analogy. Moving over to South Asia, 10 people were killed yesterday in a suicide bombing in Balochistan in Pakistan. In a separate raid in the province, authorities recovered 10 suicide vests, IEDs, landmines, mortars, and other items also.
Yes, and I saw that there was an incident that bombed an actual police truck, is that the same incident, do you
Yes,
know, or a separate?
yes.
Okay, it is. Because I'm not sure if you've seen the imagery, but that truck was just totally destroyed. So the size of the bomb was much larger than just a Veston IED and a landmine. There was a substantial explosive used in the incident.
Yes. Right.
Oh,
Paul, in Sri Lanka, the election commission said that the local government elections will not be held before the middle of April at the very least.
what's the delay there?
Um, so it was supposed to be held around now, but they had said that they didn't have the funds to hold the elections. But the opposition believes that this is the government has been delaying the polls because this will be the first public test for the government since the crisis last year.
Okay, thank you.
Lastly, in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, in Estonia, the Reform Party, which is a pro-Ukraine and a pro-West party, secured a victory in the parliamentary elections. The party is very against Russia, and this will raise tensions with Russia.
Okay, thank you.
And Russian intelligence yesterday claimed to have foiled an assassination attempt on a prominent businessman yesterday in Russia. They said that Ukraine was behind it. Now, this comes days after Putin has told the agency to step up activities against increasing Western espionage and sabotage within Russian borders.
All right, thank you.
Paul, that's a brief for today. Anything else from you?
Great work, thanks.